Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of The Unshakable Life. This past Sunday, Pastor Corey preached on the importance of self-control. Let me start off by saying that this sermon summary won't do that sermon justice. It was chock full of information, and if you haven't listened to it and you have time this week, check out that message. He started off the message with one crucial idea, that we are constantly making trade-offs between instant gratification and character development. Pastor Corey said that oftentimes when we choose instant gratification, we end up paying the price with interest later. Another way that I've heard this said is short-term gain equals long-term pain. Short-term pain equals long-term gain. So what is self-control? Well, think of it as mastery over our emotions and our desires. In order to help us grasp the issue of self-control even more, Corey reminded us that there are two definitions for freedom. There's freedom from being restricted or constricted or limited in some way, usually by outside forces. But there's also freedom too. Freedom to do things of value and importance. And this freedom actually comes about by our own willingness to limit ourselves most of the time. And biblical freedom stresses the second. We master our emotions and we master our desires so that we can be free to serve Christ well. Well, we looked at 2 Timothy chapter 1 verses 6 to 7 and we asked ourselves, how do we do this very possible and very God-honoring thing called self-control? And we said, 1, remember that we have a limited supply of willpower. And this means don't put yourself in situations that exceed or overwhelmingly diminish your supply of willpower. This means practice self-discipline in order to increase your willpower capacity, so to speak. This means pay attention to your physical health and your rest and your food and your energy levels. And it also means that since you have a limited supply, borrow some from others. Use your community around you wisely. Number 2, treat your emotions as yellow lights, not green lights. Don't let emotions equate to permission. Number 3, focus on the goal, not the temptation. As Pastor Corey said, and you won't have a successful diet if all you do is think about not eating. Another way to understand this is don't think of yourself as avoiding sin, but rather think of yourself as pursuing righteousness. Focus on what you're gaining rather than what you're losing. Number 4, don't let shame fuel failure. Man, I like to think of this as a child learning to walk. When a toddler first takes their first steps and they fall down, we celebrate the steps that they took and then we pick them up and we encourage them to go again. I think in the same way, our Heavenly Father celebrates our first steps of obedience and He oftentimes picks us up and continues to encourage us to keep going. Don't let shame fuel sin further. Number 5, enjoy and be grateful for healthy pleasures. Man, in 1 Timothy chapter 6, like we talked about on Sunday, Paul says that God richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Self-control does not mean self-denial. It means putting everything in their proper places. So as you discuss the study questions with your small group, man, think about all of these things that we've been discussing in our sermon and our devotions, and remember that we need each other. If we're going to live out this unshakable life that we've been talking about, then we need each other's help to do so. Have a great small group meeting, and thank you for being a part of Waite Park Church.